OnePlus is clearly reading the Indian market well. After creating compelling smartphones for years now, the company has its sights set on getting a share of the smart TV market, where Xiaomi has already found a great deal of success. Although after somewhat of a lackluster start with the QLED television Q1, which was launched last year, OnePlus is actually launching more affordable options this year to get a bigger chunk of the market. We have two new TVs in the Y series, which is basically a 32-inch TV, which is an HD ready television, and of course you have the 43-inch Full HD television, which is available right now. But the star of the show is this 55-inch OnePlus U series U1 television, which of course is a stripped down version of the Q1. And you know what? OnePlus is actually taking user feedback and reviewer feedback seriously, especially considering a lot of problems that we had with the Q1 initially has been solved in the U1 series, including some of the really tiny ones that I had too. Well, I'm Ashar from Mr. Phone, and in this video I'm going to be doing a full review of the OnePlus U1 U series 55-inch TV to figure out if you guys should buy it or not. But before we move on, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever Mr. Phone puts out an awesome new tech video. Also, we're building communities over at Telegram and Instagram. Links to both of those channels should be in the description below. First things first, the OnePlus U series is a stunning looking TV that makes absolutely no compromises with the build quality. You get a sturdy aluminum body on the rear with an extremely thin frame of 6.9mm. That's slimmer than a OnePlus 8 Pro for context. Although it is not 6.9mm thin from the top to the bottom though. About 25 to 30% of the bottom rear portion is chunkier and has a slight design segue as well. It has a carbon fiber texture that moves away from the plastic metallic rear. Now, my TVs are generally placed on a stand, which is the case with the review unit of the U1 as well. So you can see that it is placed on a stand and it's not wall mounted. As a result, you can see the rear of the TV and you know what, I think I really appreciate the clean back design. The clean design also extends to the removable cover on the rear for ports. I like this attention to detail in design. Now, the fit and the finish of this TV is as good as a Samsung TV, if not better, and that is definitely saying a lot. Talking about the ports, you get 3 HDMI ports on the rear, of which only one port supports ARC or audio return channel. All the 3 ports, however, do support CEC, which lets you control other electronic devices such as the Apple TV out here with the OnePlus bundled remote. So that's actually good considering I've broken my Apple TV remote and a replacement can be expensive. So I depend on the OnePlus TV remote for most of my needs, and that's actually pretty good. The other ports include an AV in, optical port for audio, an RF port for cable TV, and a couple of USB ports with USB 2.0 spec and the other with USB 3.0. Now, I would have ideally liked an extra HDMI port, but I think this is good enough for most people. The best aspect about the design, however, is that you get sturdy metal stands holding the weight of the TV. The Q1 had a single cylinder running right down the central spine on the rear, holding up the TV precariously. This made it super wobbly as well. This stand, on the other hand, is super duper sturdy and stable. I'm glad OnePlus took this feedback seriously. Now, there's one thing to note, that unlike Mi TV and many other budget TVs out there, this one is actually pretty heavy. So you need 2 people to carry it around. Also, I don't really know much about the wall mounting bit because I've never wall mounted my TVs and I don't know if it's actually using a standard VESA mount. So what I'll do is I'll link to the mount in the description below, or even in a pinned comment, so you guys can go and check it out over there. Overall though, I absolutely love the design of this TV. I have absolutely no complaints. It's stunning to look at. Now, a TV is all about the display and everything else is just secondary. And I think that the 55-inch LED panel on the OnePlus TV U1 is actually pretty impressive. And moreover, I like the fact that the bezels are damn slim and damn tiny, which means that you get a screen to body ratio of 95%. And therefore, you get an immersive TV viewing experience, especially when you switch off the lights and you literally cannot see the bezels whatsoever. So OnePlus uses a VA panel on the U1, and as far as LED panels go, the VA type gives you deeper blacks compared to an IPS panel. Obviously, the U1 does not have the deep blacks of a quantum dot LED panel like the one on the Q1, but for its asking price, it gets the job done and some. Moreover, the panel supports all the HDR formats out there: HDR10, HDR10 Plus, HLG, and Dolby Vision. Many TVs in this price range don't offer Dolby Vision, which is a pity considering that's the best kind of HDR out there with a 12-bit color profile. Now that we're on the topic of color, the U1 has a 93% wide DCI-P3 color gamut, plus you get a plethora of predefined picture settings and modes. You can tweak it to your heart's will and even change the color gamut of HDR videos as per your preference. Note that the BT 2020 setting has the widest color gamut of all. The colors pop out on the deep blacks of the screen, and I generally preferred using the TV in film mode because it had a fairly accurate color reproduction. Moreover, it didn't add any additional software-based tweaks such as motion interpolation. All it did was increase the global dimming effect to medium. There's also a new artificial intelligence-based picture quality called AIPQ, but it didn't necessarily improve anything much for me. However, what worked wonders for me was the game mode. I absolutely loved the picture tuning on this mode. NFS heat looked phenomenal, and the lower latency also ensured that my gaming experience was enhanced. It actually made a whole world of difference. Now, and this is possibly the most important difference between the U1 and the Q1. Considering the fact that the Q1 is actually a QLED panel and you get quantum dots on the rear, you get local dimming option, but it is still edge lit and not necessarily, a full array local dimming option. But with the, U1, you actually get a global dimming option, considering you don't have quantum dot, panel behind. Here, the entire image gets dark in dark scenes, and the entire stack of LED lights on the rear is qualified as one single light. Point is, it is not as effective as the local dimming option on the Q1. It creates very jarring tonal shifts when you move from a completely dark scene to one that has a few bright areas, because the black is extremely black in the completely dark scene and then it suddenly goes to grey. Regardless, I didn't notice any unbearable light blooming with the global dimming on, and generally enjoyed a cleaner image output during my test period. Plus, the contrast ratio of 4000:1 is better than most panels out there. For comparison, the Mi TV 4X has a contrast ratio of 1200:1. Better contrast ratio ensures that your colors can pop even more. Overall, I loved watching HDR content on Netflix. I've been binging Dark on this TV, and it looks particularly stunning, especially with its unique color grading. Daredevil and Our Planet look equally attractive as well. However, the panel is very reflective and dark scenes look washed out as a result when you have a brighter room than normal. Furthermore, there is some uneven lighting around the edges in grey backgrounds, like you can notice when Amazon Prime starts. The other problem is the viewing angle is not great. Even if you sit slightly off center, you will notice that the screen is looking washed out around the edges. Furthermore, the low refresh rate of the TV is a bit of an issue because you're bound to face some ghosting in fast motion sequences. However, OnePlus has added MEMC to solve that problem. MEMC, or motion interpolation, adds intermittent frames to improve the motion blur, but it causes a distinctive soap opera effect look that I absolutely hate. So I've switched it off along with other software tweaks such as digital noise reduction. By the way, I also used my Apple TV and PlayStation 4 with the TV, and the FHD image upscaling was pretty good. However, I do not have any SD playback device, so I don't know how the upscaling looks, but I don't suppose it looks very good. So overall, considering its price, the OnePlus TV U1 series has an A-grade panel that does really good HDR, and that's what really matters. The U1 has 4 speakers on the rear, 2 full range speakers and 2 downward firing tweeters. The full range speakers are placed in such an angle that you are supposed to get better bass. But to be honest, I found the bass response to be lacking. In fact, the sound was really not very refined, with the vocals sounding very hollow. You will need to invest in a soundbar or home theater speakers to get better audio quality. You can listen to our recording to understand what I'm talking about. By the way, the TV also supports Dolby Atmos, which means that if you have a Dolby Atmos ready set of speakers, you could possibly test it out to see how it works. Having said that, I don't have a set of Dolby Atmos speakers, so I don't know if the internal decoding is good enough for complex surround audio streams. Now, obviously, Dolby Atmos is not going to sound great on the speakers that are already available on the TV. One of the best things about the OnePlus 55 U1 is that it has the same powerful internals as the Q1. It is powered by the MediaTek 5670 chipset. There's 3 gigs of RAM and 8 gigs of internal storage. You can play games on this TV if you want, but it's better to just pick up a dedicated console instead. I found that navigating through the UI was generally smooth with a few hiccups here and there. The TV runs on the latest Android 9 Pie version with a few OnePlus tweaks. You get Oxygen Play, which is a separate content aggregation page where OnePlus has partnered with over 15 plus content providers. You have to get a subscription for most of these services, if not all. To be honest, I prefer using the standalone apps from the Android TV page. Netflix and Prime Video have shows in glorious 4K and HDR, so they've got you sorted. Apart from this, you also get Spotify pre-installed. I really like the bundled file manager app that is easy to navigate with big menus as well. Plus, there is this new app that lets you use a TV as a Bluetooth stereo and another app called Pictorial for screensavers. Obviously, you also get your usual suspects such as the Google Assistant, Alexa and Chromecast support for seamless voice command control or streaming content from your phone. Additionally, I really like the fact that you can use the menu button to access the TV's settings from any input source. These are tiny touches that make a whole world of difference. There's also the OnePlus Connect app, which is improved from its previous iterations. For Apple users, the app is now available on iOS App Store. That said, the most important addition is the fact that you get a new keyboard to type on your smartphone's display. Plus, I still love the smart volume control feature where the TV automatically reduces the volume when you get a call. There are two new additions to the software that are pretty useful. Now, there is a content calendar feature that lets you create your own schedule for TV shows on, that play back on your set-top box. Unfortunately, I don't use a set-top box, so I couldn't test that feature out. What I can show you, however, is the new Data Saver Plus feature. You get granular control over which apps can consume how much data, limit network speed, set alerts for data usage, and more. This is a particularly useful feature for people using hotspot to connect to the internet. I would have liked a slightly more attractive UI with pie charts and graphs for information on data usage, but this is good enough too. For all the premium build quality of the TV, OnePlus has skimped on the materials for the remote. I mean, it works. It has everything you need, including a dedicated mute button, which is very important for me, Netflix and Prime Video buttons, but it is decidedly plasticky. I was possibly one of the very few people who liked the original OnePlus TV Q1 remote. Granted, it had its issues, but I felt OnePlus had something going right with the minimalistic approach. Now, this remote's design that lands in a no man's land is quite baffling if you ask me. I mean, I don't have with the layout or any problem with the ergonomics. They're both actually pretty great, but it doesn't have the gumption that OnePlus has with its industrial design chops. Now, that is something that's missing on the remote design. Going back to the drawing board has done a whole lot of wonders for the OnePlus TV U1. Now, you get a sturdier metal stand, which was one of the biggest problems. And, of course, Netflix doesn't force feed Dolby Vision with motion interpolation, which was a problem that I have with the Q1. Now, that has been solved with the U1. And it's just a whole lot of cutting the losses. Now, I have a particular problem with the remote and the audio quality of the 30-watt speakers built in, but those are just pet peeves. Most people are not going to have the problem with a remote or, even with the speaker because it can get really loud. So yeah, there's no glaring fault as such with this OnePlus TV U1. Sure, you get plenty of alternatives from brands like Samsung, LG and TCL, which actually make good televisions, but none are as feature rich and probably even as affordable as the OnePlus TV U1 that is available right now. And most importantly, the picture quality of the OnePlus 55 U1 is almost as good as those televisions, if not better. And for those wondering, I sincerely don't think that any Mi TV's LED display is as good as the one on the OnePlus TV. Of course, those are cheaper, but the point is that Xiaomi still has some headroom and probably could compete with OnePlus with a better TV, so that we have more options in the market as well. So what did you guys think of our review of the OnePlus TV U1 55-inch? Do let me know in the comment section below. If you ask me, I have been using the Q1 before this and now I've moved to the U1. I didn't see a whole lot of difference and the price difference is a lot. So I think that OnePlus has done a great job with the TV. Kudos. So until next time, this is Ashar from Mr. Phone signing off. Goodbye and Godspeed, my friends.